Hello everyone and welcome to another video update. Today I'm going to be talking about quite a lot of bits, mainly about Halloween though. So yeah, there's a big talk that we need to have about Halloween and where it's going and how it's going and how it's feeling and everything. So yeah, of the upcoming big videos that we have left after the recent sci-fi one, there's Critical versus Personal Opinion. That was recently finished, which I'm amazed I got through that. But I'm very thrilled that it's done, and it's better than I anticipated, but as usual, probably not as good as I hoped. But that one's done. I am working on multiple at the same time, but I'm kind of prioritizing, you know, one at a time to try and alleviate the burden of all the other stuff that I'm trying to do. So of the stuff that's left to do, there's a video on horror game mechanics that will probably get done first, because I think that'll be the easiest one to actually write. Then after that, there's probably another free horror video, because I've got quite a lot of them. I'm going to go talk about them in a minute. Then there'll be the folklore video. The folklore video has been kind of difficult to write for, more so than I anticipated. I kind of realized the scope of the thing was much broader than I was giving it credit for in the writing that I had done, so I've kind of decided to put off on that until I've found a good way in my head to write it out, because sometimes you can just go straight into something and just start writing it and it works out perfectly, and sometimes you'll just start writing something and then be like, you know what, this kind of feels very, you know, this doesn't feel right, so I'll have to go back and rethink that one before I have another go at it. So, but I ended up watching The Ritual, The Witch, and what was the other one? The Blair Witch Project, all in the same day. I've seen all of them before, but like it was worth seeing all of them again to try and, you know, really get a feel for more folklore, because I realized that I was kind of only looking at it from like a gameplay perspective and what folklore can do for the game, instead of kind of like looking at what folklore does and, you know, the kind of images and stuff that you can get from it, and just talking about folklore in general before I start going, oh yeah, by the way, it's also creepy in video games. But yeah, so that'll be, you know, much further into the future, and then even further into the future than that will be the Amnesia story video, because recently I've played through Amnesia Rebirth, I've played through Amnesia The Bunker, and I've almost finished playing through Amnesia The Dark Descent, and that's the one that I'm like doing the most poking and prodding about in, to try and get as much of that as possible. And like I said, I think the last time, I'm trying to split it into two different videos, where I'm going to be covering basically chronologically, you know, the events of the Amnesia timeline, in the same way that I basically did the same thing for Soma. And the way that I'm going to be mainly doing it is going like, well, here's all the Dark World stuff from the start of Rebirth, or like, you know, the prehistory stuff from Rebirth, and then it will jump into Amnesia The Dark Descent, which will be the next earliest point, and then I'll cover all of that game, because pretty much all of that game happens, you know, in a self-contained bubble. And then after that I'll be going back to Rebirth, and then that'll be the end of that specific arc. And then the next one will be, you know, A Machine for Pigs, which I have not. I think I'm about. I have a hard time playing through that game. I find it kind of boring, which is not great to be doing a story video on it. And I may not do a second part to it if I really enjoy the first part. But yeah, and then I'll be talking about The Bunker. And whilst these do mention, like, you know, things that fit into the overarching plot line, I don't think either of them are as important to the overarching plot line as like The Dark Descent and Rebirth. So like, you know, I'll be, you know, separating them into two different things based on importance, really. And yeah, so that'll be that for them. But yeah, that's a long way in the future. I did start to write some of that, but then I kind of realized the monumental task I was trying to take on. And even with like, there's a really good Wikipedia thing that has like every single event, you know, done in time, and that's really helpful. And I used something similar to that for the Soma video, because you know, it's I know a great deal about the Soma story as is, but there were still lots of things that I didn't realize. There were gameplay things I didn't realize. Someone commented on the Soma video recently saying you don't need to kill Amy, and I was like, oh, I didn't realize. And I watched myself in the video unplug one and then be like, I think I'll unplug the other one as well, just to kill her for some reason. But I didn't realize you could only you only needed to unplug one of those things. Anyway, so yeah, those are the ones that I'm going to be working on pretty much up until Halloween starts. Like, there won't be anything after that, and these videos are going to be fairly long, I'm going to say, because the personal versus critical opinion video ended up being way longer than I thought it was going to be. It's like 27 something minutes, and if you're on Patreon, you don't even need to be like, you can be signed up, but you don't need to be paying to see that one. I'm pretty sure that one's just free, or even on Discord, because I just posted that on Discord as well. If you're on either of them, then you can just watch that one now if you so desire. Yeah, these videos are going to be a lot longer than I thought, and if Amnesia is going to be as big as I think it is, and as long as I think it is, then yeah, that one's going to take a lot of time. And what I'm trying to do at the moment is knuckle down for Halloween, because I have a lot less done than I would like. So, but before we talk about that, I have the last of this year's one, unless I do one afterwards. This will be the stuff for the Free Horror 4, which will be quite a lot of interesting ones I think I've got this time. I haven't got all of them yet. I think there's one or two that I need to find. I'm sure there are recorded other ones that I've just not put on here. But I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I've got 6 at the moment, and I think there's like 2 or 3 others on the computer waiting for me to have a go at them. They're not very long, which is why I'm fine with, like, you know, doing them in an hour or two. And I played like 4 of them in a row the other day, and some of them weren't good, but some of them were very good. And we're going to talk about all of them. So I mentioned Water Womb World last time, and that's a really weird one. That's going in that video. I don't know if I mentioned Wrong Floor, but Wrong Floor is made by the same people who made From the Darkness, and yeah, that was absolutely terrifying. And just like From the Darkness was, I don't know how they managed. They've really, like, it's a very, very similar formula, and I shouldn't be that surprised that it worked in the same way. But yeah, Wrong Floor is only about 12 minutes long, but it felt longer than that. It was a very, very intense experience. And it made me appreciate a lot of stuff about how the torches and stuff in that game work, and how they work in From the Darkness as well. You know, I realized something when I was playing it, and I was like, wow, that's actually a lot more clever than I gave it credit for. Some of the other two, the two that I'm not that interested in, that I'm going to be mentioning anyway, are Thunderhead and Abotion. I don't know if that's pronounced right. I don't really know how to pronounce that one, to be honest. Abotion is just kind of weird. It doesn't really play into the horror that much, in my opinion. It definitely has some unique moments that I wouldn't have, you know, that you don't really expect, but like it doesn't. I feel like it should have been a longer game, really, and explored the themes that it was trying to do a bit more, because stuff just kind of happens and then it's over. Which for a free horror game you can't really complain at too much, but like I reckon it could have been better than what it was. And Thunderhead was really overdone, like really, really impressive. It had like great audio, great visuals, and then like barely any horror content at all. Like you literally play as like a milkman delivering milk to this town called Thunderhead, and then something happens. I don't want to spoil like a 10-minute long game, because like this would be pretty much if I told you what happens, it wouldn't be a reason to play it. The milk delivering thing was really good, but like the actual horror part was over in like if it was a 15-minute game, I think it was about 50 seconds, maybe less, of horror, and then it just ends. but the music and everything was just really, really good. It had a proper cowboy, like western music theme. Loved it. Really, really great. But yeah, the horror content shockingly low. So again, I don't know if I'll be talking about that one. Blood Maul I played the other day, and Blood Maul is great. Blood Maul is just like Blood Wash and Rewind or Die, and like all the ones that are like deliberately done, like Night of the, oh my god, what's it called? Night of the Gates of Hell. Like it's all like that very low budget PlayStation 1 VHS 1980s like style, and I think Blood Maul might actually be my favorite out of all of them, besides maybe Murder House. Murder House I think is still better. Murder House is like an objectively good one, in my opinion. But Blood Mall was really, really entertaining. You go into a mall and basically you find loads of people impaled on spears and stuff, and you're just like, oh my god, look at all this. And the voice acting and the intensity of the final section as you have to like run away from the thing that's in there, it's just really well done. I had so much fun playing that. That was a really good game. There was another one. I've also got the Boba Tea demo, and everyone was really hyping up the Boba Tea demo, but I didn't really think there was anything much to it. So I don't know if I'm going to bother talking about that, just because everyone else seems to be really hyped up on. It was like on the recommended page, and I've seen a couple of people going like, you know, just YouTube thumbnails really is all I've like, you know, all I've really absorbed the media from. But it just says, I've seen people like show the Boba Tea demo and then say the scariest, and I'm really confounded by why anyone would think that. Like unless I'm missing some huge part of the game, like there's like one vague jump scare at the end, and then that's it. Like, so I really don't know what people are finding to be frightened of in that, but that's that. And finally, the last one I'm going to talk about is The Moth Inside Me, and that's by Soda Raptor, who also did Late Homework, which is on my one of my Halloween ones this year. And I did Interior Worlds last year, which I loved Interior World, and I loved like Late Homework as well. But The Moth Inside Me is a very weird, surreal, cerebral even game about dreams, and I can honestly tell you I don't really know what it's about. I didn't really understand it. There was but I didn't really feel bad about not understanding it either. I think there's a lot of games where you can walk away from it and just feel like completely disconnected from an experience if you don't actually understand what's happening. But some things like speak to you on such a level that you don't properly need to understand it to still feel like you took something away from it, and it's definitely one of them where it feels like the experience of you know, of everything going on was honestly like where most of it came from. Like just being in the environments and looking at stuff, it didn't really need to say anything special to me, but like, you know, just being there, it just worked. So yeah, that one's, some of these are going to get very high scores, and some of them I don't think are going to get high scores at all. I was kind of hoping to, maybe some of the other ones that I look at may replace a couple of these, because again, like Thunderhead and Abotion or whatever aren't particularly that good. I don't think that they're not worth playing, but like I don't think that they're like, if you're going in for like a properly intense horror experience, putting Wrong Floor and like, you know, The Moth Inside Me and Blood Mall even up against like Abotion is like, you know, put a poodle next to a T-Rex and stuff. It's just like that. It doesn't really it's trying to do its own thing, but it doesn't really compare to the, you know, the kind of stuff that's going on. So but I do like variety, so maybe I'll include them anyway. I don't know, maybe I could do like 12 or something this time. They're not very long, so it doesn't take long to talk about them. Anyway, all right, moving swiftly on. I have now finally what I'm like, I haven't locked in the complete Halloween lineup, but what I have got is a list that I'm going to try to stick to. And I'm really going to try and stick to these because I want, a lot of this is just personal obsession. I'll be brutally honest. A lot of this is like me looking at previous years, realizing that I have like sequels, because like this is technically the 5th year anniversary of the very first Halloween, which was 5 years ago in 2020. And this year I've been trying to line up as many of sequels and like games that are similar or made by the same people or in a similar vein to the same time slots as games of the previous Halloweens, which is beyond necessary for really you know, for a special event, but like it's something that I want to do and something that will please me personally. Like that second Halloween video, like it's not the second Halloween, like the second sci-fi horror video. It didn't really matter to me whether nobody else got it. It's just something that pleased me. Anyway, I'm gonna go through the list and talk about how much is done and how much needs to be done, and talk about, you know, what's there in general. I'll show footage on screen obviously if I've got footage, but imagine for quite a lot of these I don't have anything. So The first one I'm going for is Dino Crisis. I have attempted to record Dino Crisis from my little emulator box, and it did not like that whatsoever. It was very, very blurry. I couldn't seem to change any of the settings on the thing to really get it any better, so I've left that specific version behind, and I'm going with my original Dreamcast version. I haven't got round to actually attempting that one yet, and I've been a bit negative towards Dino Crisis for a little while, just because I played it several years ago and was already really tired and got bored and didn't really play any more than that. So I've kind of gone in there a bit negative, and I haven't really touched it since. So yeah. After that, on the second, I mean, I'm going to be having a go at that. I haven't actually, I will be having a go at it. Obviously, it's the first one. But like last year with like Silent Hill Shattered Memories, it does sometimes take me a while to get around to specific games because of how I kind of just attempt all of them at the same time, and then whichever one gets finished first is like, locked in, and things that take too long will get swapped out for other stuff. Like, it's a little chaotic, but like it's the fastest way for me to ascertain whether I'll be able to get something done in time is by just attempting everything and then seeing what takes too long and what doesn't. So yeah. Stalker 2 I've already done, no point talking about that one. If you're on Patreon, or if you're a paying member of Patreon, I put all of the early Halloween videos on there, so they're on there. You can see that one, although I think I shared that one on Discord as well. That was one of the few ones I did. Dreadout number 3, sorry, October 3rd, I've got Dreadout Keepers of the Dark. I've been, because I did Dreadout last year on the 3rd, so I'm doing Keepers of the Dark this time because I didn't really want to do Dreadout 2, because I've heard that Dreadout 2 is considerably less horror than the first one, and that Keepers of the Dark is like a good middle ground between the first one and the second one. So I've been interested in doing that. Sons of the Forest, I have finished that one. That one's again available as a review on Patreon. Clive Barker's Jericho. I am playing that one at the moment. Oh, sorry, I didn't actually mention. I haven't actually started playing Dreadout Keepers of the Dark yet, but I'm going to. There you go. Clive Barker's Jericho. I've been playing that early today and some of yesterday afternoon. I'm kind of just speeding through that one at the moment. I didn't really think at the time that it was going to be much of a horror game, but like, it's not specifically scary, but there's a lot of gory stuff in it, like really good quality gory stuff. Like, you can tell that it's a Clive Barker thing because like some of it is very reminiscent of Hellraiser, way more than like Undying was. And I'd still think I like Undying more as a game. I like the whole creepy gothic horror thing that Undying had going, but I think that Jericho is way darker based on the stuff that I've seen so far. I've just got to the part where they go into the Middle Age, the 1213 BC, or not BC, AD, and yeah, it's getting pretty, like, they're watching gigantic monsters with, like, metal fused onto their faces, spray blood everywhere is, like, it's pretty cool. I didn't think it was going to end up like that, but it did, and that's pretty awesome. I've also managed to get the game running, which was really surprisingly difficult for the amount of workarounds that you need to do to get that game to run properly on a modern computer, because my older computer that I use for playing these games really just couldn't handle it. So, yeah, so that was that. Next up is on the 6th, we've got Hollow Body. I started playing Hollow Body last year. I didn't actually, I'm going to be re-recording it basically because it's just that too much time has passed and I've probably forgotten, so I'm going to be deleting that footage and starting it again. I don't know how long Hollow Body is, but again, I'm just going to go for it. The same for like the 7th, I'm doing Manhunt 2. I'm pretty sure I can get through it, or get through enough of it to be able to, do a review of it. The same for the 8th, where I've got Concluse 2. I haven't started any of these yet, which is why, obviously, this is what I'm saying, like, it's getting a bit concerning that some of these I've finished, yeah, sure, but some of them I haven't even started. So, like, I'm going to be making a big push over the next month or so to really get, like, as many of these recorded and done as humanly possible. So, yeah. On the 9th, I've got Suffer the Night. I have played a lot of Suffer the Night. I don't know how much more there is to go, but that's actually a surprisingly fun game. It's a little goofy in places, and I don't think it means to be, but and definitely the voice actor for the main character is less than stellar, but it's still really good. I'm still quite enjoying it. Resident Evil Revelations 2. I'm sure after the whole RE9 thing going on, people would have preferred me to play Resident Evil Outbreak, but I'm pretty sure there's no chance of me actually finishing that in time. So, yeah, you know, what can you do? But, yeah, I'm doing Resident Evil Revelations 2 because I did one last year and I wanted to do... I've still got several Resident Evil games to get through. On the 11th, we've got The Last Door Season 2. I've finished playing that, and I have written that as well, and I will be, after I've done here with this, I'll be going back to that to edit that video, as well as another one that I'll mention further on. On the 12th, we've got Dredge. I've already finished Dredge. Again, go Patreon, we will find it. Dredge is done. On the 13th, Fear and Hunger. Again, I don't expect to finish Fear and Hunger, I just expect to play enough of Fear and Hunger to get a basic gist of it. You know, the thing is, I'm going to end up probably looking up parts of it, and then, you know, I don't think that it's a game that I would, you know, I would have to spend hours upon hours throwing myself at it to try and discover all of its secrets, and some of them are just going to be, you know, a bit more work than anticipated. So, I expect there to be a video, I just don't expect there to be a video that has, like, you know, every single detail about the game. It's just going to give you, like, a basic review of the thing, and that's pretty much what I expect of it. 14th, Late Homework, finished, Patreon. On the 15th, I've got Song of Horror. I have gotten bored in Song of Horror before, but, like, you know, there's always a couple that people really want me to do, like Forbidden Siren last year, like Tormented Souls. I know people want me to do Tormented Souls, but I just cannot get on with the game. And I did buy it again on PlayStation, hoping that it'll be different, but I really don't know what I'm expecting. But I'll be giving it a go, because I'm not going to be playing Tormented Souls 2 until I've finished Tormented Souls 1. But yeah, Tormented Souls is once again not in this year's Halloween, just because I don't think I'll be getting that done on time. It took me an hour to get to the first main hall. I don't even consider myself bad at survival horror games, but my god, there is something about Tormented Souls that makes it extremely tiring and stressful, and just clunky and unresponsive at the same time. I just can't get into it. So yeah, I've left that one. And Song of Horror I'm going to have a go at, but again, if it doesn't work out, I'll be trading it out for a different game. These are supposed to be what I'm going for, but some of them are just placeholder ones that I would like to do. If I can't do Song of Horror, again, I've got like Nightmare Creatures 2, I've got loads of other bits and pieces I could do instead. I've got loads and loads of games sitting around waiting for me to play them, so, like, you know, that could be one. After that, I've got Slay the Princess. I've done one playthrough of Slay the Princess, as I probably mentioned in the last one, but there are multiple more princesses to find, so there's a bit more of that to play. I can't really share my thoughts on it really at the moment, just because, again, it doesn't feel like I don't think I've got enough of the actual experience to really gauge what's going on. Like, I left that one playthrough that I've done so far pretty much feeling just confused, and I get that that's pretty much what I would have expected now that I realise how many there are to get and how much of it, you know, is dependent on that. So yeah, that's that one. 17th, Beyond Hanwell. Beyond Hanwell is finished and it's on Patreon. After that, it's I always get this confused. Lila, or Lila, which is a very surreal game. I started playing that yesterday, and yep, big fan. It's definitely weird, and it's very unique, and I like it. I can't wait to talk about that one. But again, that one requires a lot more time put into it, just like Slay the Princess requires more playthroughs, and I keep on ending up with these games that, you know, you can't just play through from start to finish. They have, like, they require you to start them again multiple times. So yeah, that's on there. After that, I've got Ju-On the Grudge, which is a Nintendo Wii game that I've managed to get looking reasonably well. I only really played the first part so far. I don't think the game's too long. But I was surprised that a game it's called Fright Simulator, and I kind of take things that are like deliberately trying to scare you as not very scary generally. But it did manage to make me jump a couple of times, which I was quite impressed with. But the big issue with that is basically just the controls. You only use the Wii remote to move and look at everything, and unfortunately if you move the Wiimote off the screen, then it loses you, and then you just start turning around on the spot or like staring at the floor, and it can get pretty awkward. But when it does work, yeah, it's pretty good, and surprisingly well done for a Nintendo Wii game, so yeah. After that, Skuld against the Black Priory. I'm on the 3rd chapter, and I've been on the 3rd chapter for a while. Things are getting kind of difficult. I don't know how much more of the game there is to do. I think the 3rd chapter is supposed to be the last chapter, and I have been poking around the island trying to figure out where I'm supposed to go and where's the end of the game. But I don't think I'm too far from the end. I do actually did actually really enjoy Skuld. I think it's great, actually. But yeah, I don't know how high of a score it'll be getting. I can't really say that it's like traditionally scary. It's one of those ones it's horror because it's full of horrible things, not that it's like, you know, a terrifying experience. So yeah, it'll be getting something for sure because the atmosphere is great. Love it. Anyway, moving on. Post-trauma. I have been getting a bit tired of post-trauma the more that I play it, because God, I'm used to puzzles in, you know, survival horror games and everything, but Lord, the puzzles in Post-Trauma have been just, I don't know. Every time that I come up to one and I can't immediately tell what it is that I'm supposed to do with it, then I just start getting a bit despondent. And, maybe it's just me being impatient and trying to get the game finished. Which, I'm at the very end of the game, so I'm not too far away from finishing it anyway. But it's just been tiring. It really has been, like, I've kind of lost the grip of what's going on. Like, the narrative made sense at the start, and it made sense in the following chapter, but then, like, when a lot of things started crossing over, I would have thought that would have made things clear, but it didn't make any sense at all. And now I don't understand why characters are doing certain things, or what characters are talking about in general. And that on top of, like, puzzles where I'm kind of just not interested in them whatsoever. Like, I've now started putting a pad over by the desk so that I can write stuff down, and I've only really been using it for post-trauma because it's the only game that seems to really demand a lot of brain power that I just don't have some mornings. But like, atmosphere-wise, great atmosphere. I'm not sure I'm gonna lie and say that it's scary. I've not found it very frightening at all. But yeah, it's definitely a unique one. After that, 22nd, Hollow Cocoon. I've already finished Hollow Cocoon. See you on Patreon. 23rd, Fear the Spotlight. I have finished playing Fear the Spotlight, but I just need to write it and edit it. After that, on 24th, American McGee's Alice. Now, I don't know what version of the game I'm going to be playing because I've got the download for PlayStation 3, but I also have the PC version of the game. And I'm imagining the PC version is going to play better, but I think the last time that I attempted it, it had a few issues. I'm still working out the logistics of whether that one's actually proper, you know, possible to do, because of how, you know, some of these games don't like performing particularly well. And when it comes to old PC games as well, my track record of getting them to work has been, you know, very spotty. I still can't get any of the original Blair Witch trilogy to run on anything. So yeah, that's been kind of hard. I got Clock Tower Rewind, and I really want to have a go at Clock Tower Rewind. I've put it on the list because, again, I want to cover it, but I haven't actually started it yet, so yeah, that's that. Casting of Frank Stone on the 26th, finished, written, which again, if you want to read any of the scripts before I've done it, because I've got 2 scripts on there right now, which is for The Last Door and the Casting of Frank Stone. And the review for the Casting of Frank Stone has not been particularly positive, even though I really like the game. It's just, you know, I feel like it's just gonna disappoint people who are going in there for a proper horror experience. That's all I really have to say about that one. 27th, I've done a big you know, I'm doing a really putting it out there, and I'm going to try Forbidden Siren 2. Apparently it is a better made game, but if I don't like it, or if I can't get on with it like I did the first game, I'll be dropping that pretty fast for something else. On the 28th, I've got Kuon. I'm really interested to see that, because I did play that a little bit before, but I think there was like recording issues at the time. I was trying to play it on the actual PlayStation 2, and yeah, sometimes I'm just sometimes very disappointed with how the actual recording quality turns out and stuff like that. The only game that I still use on a regular basis that I've recorded from the PlayStation 2 is like the original Fatal Frame. Everything else is like, you know, emulator or something, just because some of them are just clearer and easier to read, and it's easier to see, and you know, that kind of stuff. General, I do like going for authenticity, but there are just some things that don't work properly. Then I've got 29th, Resident Evil Code Veronica. I am once again aiming to get Code Veronica done, but if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. There's not much I can do about it. It's a very difficult game from what I remember last time, and I don't think that I have all the footage that I had before. So I may end up re-recording it once again. Not that I'll be particularly thrilled to play it from the start again, but if that doesn't work, then I'll just try something else. And then finally, the 30th, I'm going for Silent Hill F, which is going to be coming out in September 25th or something, which will still give me basically over a month to play through it and then review it. The only real issue I have with that is the price tag, like $70. God damn. Like, I'm not made of money, you know? Like, oof. Still, I'll have to do it because people want to see what I have to say about Silent Hill F, because, you know, that's pretty much, that's the channel at this point. I've covered all of the Silent Hill games. Plus, I'm kind of curious to see it myself. The visuals have been really cool. I don't know if I'll be getting it on PC or PlayStation 5, one or the other, probably. But, I mean, yeah, those are my options, really. Or Xbox. I could play it on Xbox, but I don't really play horror games on Xbox anymore. Anyway, yeah, so that's a rundown basically of how Halloween is looking at the moment. In the future, I'll just be talking about the things that I've actually done. I'm not going to be talking about the ones that I've already done, or like, you know, games that I haven't started or anything. So like, this is going to be it until, like, you know, pretty much it's all done, or like, you know, I've got major updates to talk about for each one, or and stuff like that. And I'm not going to be going over all of these again. If you want to see all of these again, there is a post on, again, Patreon that has like a huge list of all of the games that I'm doing for this year's Halloween and their various stages of being completed. So yeah, that's on there if you want to see how it's going and where it's up to, because, you know, again, it just takes a lot of time to go through all of this stuff. And if you join Patreon or just want to view it, because I don't think you actually need to be signed up to see posts, well, most of the posts at least. I wanted to make the early Halloween videos a reward for people who are, like, you know, joining to support me on Patreon, so, like, you know, that kind of stuff. Anyway, this one's been quite a long update, so and I've got work to do. So thank you all again for your patience. I hope everyone enjoyed the sci-fi horror part 2 one. That didn't seem to be doing as well as I would like, but I hope that people liked it. And if you want to see the personal versus critical opinion video, which I'm very proud of, you can either see that on Patreon or Discord if you're on either of those two. And if you're not, then just wait a few weeks, it'll be up. So yeah, that's that, and I will see you all next time.